my beautiful friends, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Anna and today I'm going to show you how to make brisket tacos. Brisket tacos are absolutely scrumptious and they are quite a treat. They're really easy to make. They do take a few hours because we are going to slow fry them. And I'm going to tell you exactly what that means right now. But before I do, let me show you the ingredients. You're going to need some brisket meat, and I'm going to talk about this in just a second. You're going to need some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and chili powder. And as you can see, I already mixed that together. Not only this, you're also going to need, I know this is going to sound like a lot, but you're going to need about 6 pounds of canola or vegetable oil. And I'm going to tell you right now why you need so much. Okay, so that's gonna be for the meat. And then of course you're going to need your tortillas. I like to top my tacos with a white onion or yellow onion, a little bit of cilantro, a little bit of queso fresco or queso blanco. I also like to top it with some pico de gallo or some guacamole. It's delicious that way. But the toppings are definitely up to you and what you like to add to your tacos. Okay. So let me start seasoning the meat and then I'm going to tell you why we need so much oil and then the type of meat that I'm using. So I like to buy my brisket wholesale. So when you go to Costco or any wholesale store, you're going to see that there's like this huge brisket. And I think that's the best deal for your buck. It is just very, very inexpensive. Well, not inexpensive, but it comes out cheaper that way. So, by the way, what I'm doing now is just seasoning with a lot of salt. Remember, salt is meat's best friend, or pretty much anything's best friend. So a generous amount of salt and pepper. And then I'm also going to add some of my chili powder, garlic powder mixture. And I'm going to do this on both sides, by the way. Back to the meat. As you can probably tell, there's some pieces that are a little leaner than others. Like this piece right here has a nice amount of marbling, but I did remove a lot of fat from it. This is going to be enough to give me a very juicy and tender meat without it being too fatty, because brisket can be quite a lean cut of meat except from the marbling, and I did remove a lot of that fat that it comes with. If you buy it at your regular grocery store, it's gonna be pretty lean. You won't have the option to pick and choose because that's the one they use for corned beef. They sell it pretty lean. So I'm adding a little bit of pepper, but that's all right. You can use that one as well and it's gonna come out absolutely delicious either way. But I wanted to explain a little bit in case you were wondering why my meat looks a little different. And the reason you need so much oil is because we're going to slow fry our meat, and what that means is that we are going to bake this in a 250-degree Fahrenheit preheated oven. You can also go ahead and do that right now. So preheat your oven to 250 and just let it come to temperature. And what that does is the outside of the meat, since it is frying in a lot of oil, it's going to get very nicely brown. And then the inside, since it's going to cook for about 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours, depending on how much meat you have and how tender your meat is, it is going to be so tender, it will pretty much just like melt in your mouth. So that is the reason why you need so much oil. You can either do this in your oven or you can do it in your slow cooker. And when I made these tacos for the first time, I made them in the slow cooker and they come out exactly the same. Again, they might need to cook for a little bit longer, but again, it is the same thing. They're going to come out absolutely delicious either way. So what I'm gonna do, I have a oven safe pot here. And to it, obviously, I'm going to add the meat. I'm going to cover it with some aluminum foil and then we just pop it in the oven and that is it. So you can see it's very simple. You can also marinate the meat for about an hour. That is completely up to you. If you marinate it, that's going to be best. But right now, I don't have enough time to marinate the meat, so I'm going to just pop it in the oil and cook it just like so. But if you do have a little bit of time, go ahead and marinate it. And you want enough oil to pretty much cover all of the meat. So you do need a lot of oil. And remember, this, like I said, is a treat. And I make this recipe maybe once, twice a year because, again, it's not the healthiest. It does sound like a lot of oil, but remember, you really won't be consuming this amount of oil. It's like when you deep fry, you really don't eat that amount of oil, but it's still going to be cooking in that oil for a little while. So that's why I only make it once or twice a year because, like I said, it's not the healthiest, but it is sure is delicious. And I know you will thank me if you make these because they are absolutely fabulous. They are so good. So like I said, I'm going to cover this. And remember, this is going to cook very low and slow for a few hours. And that is it. So now once the meat is almost done, right when it has like 30 to 40 minutes, I am going to go ahead and prep the rest of the ingredients, and then I'm going to meet you back here so you can see exactly how the meat came out. And by the magic of YouTube, I'll see you back here in just a second. As promised, I am back. I literally just took out this from the oven. Didn't want to burn myself. Okay, so we have to see if the meat is done. And it has been cooking for about 5 hours. And it should be extremely, extremely tender. And as you can probably tell, I have my tortillas, guacamole. Just filmed a recipe for this guacamole, so it will be on the channel so you can see how to make your own homemade guacamole in case you've never made it, because it is extremely simple to make. And then I have some cotija cheese and, like I said, my onions with cilantro. Okay, we're going to do this together. And let's see. Oh my God, this meat, look at that. This is absolutely perfection. Look at that. This is what I like to do. I like to grab a piece. Remember how I told you that some of my brisket had a lot of fat? So I'm going to go ahead and remove all of that fat. So you see right here, a lot of this layer is fat, and then there's a little bit of meat right in here. So I'm going to remove the meat and then discard the fat. We do not want any of this fat. Okay, so I separated the meat from the fat. And now I'm just going to give this a rough chop. And as you can probably tell, the meat has a beautiful color already. And it's kind of, it's not crispy, but it does have a beautiful color. So if you want some pieces to be a little crispier, you can cook this on the skillet for, wait, there's a little bit of fat here. So if you want some pieces to be a bit crispy, you can obviously cook this on the stove for, I would say, 5 minutes on high heat. So there's some, that way you're gonna have some pieces that are going to be a little crispier than others. I roughly chop it and I serve it like this with the toppings, and absolutely everyone loves it. If you have ever eaten brisket before, you know that it is an incredibly tender cut of meat if cooked for a very long time like we did, and it is just absolutely perfection. Okay, this looks perfect. So what I like to do, I grab my warm tortilla. I'm just going to do this with my hands. Then I grab a little bit of meat, just like so. Don't go anywhere, please. Okay, so then I grab a little bit of my onion cilantro mixture, little bit of cheese on top, just like so. I don't know if you guys can see. Look at that beautiful taco. Look at that. I do want a little bit of this guac. I'm gonna put a little bit right on top. If you never had brisket tacos before, you definitely need to make brisket tacos this way because it's so very simple. You kind of just throw it in the oven. You don't even have to think about it until like 20 minutes before it's done. So you can prep the toppings and things like that, but it is just that simple and it is a crowd pleaser. I can tell you that. It sure pleases me. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So I hope you guys enjoyed my brisket tacos recipe. It is absolutely out of this world. It is so good. And remember, the written recipe is on my website, anitasdelightsrecipes.com. So don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.